Alright, so you want to make a clean wrapper slash anime header slash banner, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it in Photoshop. You can use Photopea, you can use whatever, it doesn't really matter. Alright, so first we're going to make a new file. I usually use 3000 by 1000 pixels, but you could do 1500 by 500. But yeah, I'm going to make that. And boom, so this is the standard size for a Twitter header. So here we have a black background. You might not have it, but if you don't, just click this right here and click solid color, and we're making this black. All right, this is gonna be based black. All right, so first you want to drag in your main render or your main character, whatever you want to do. You can find these images off of Google by just searching up the name of, like, say, your anime character or the wrapper you want to make a header out of. Or you can go to my Discord server and we actually post really clean renders just like this one. So yeah, link in the description if you want to join my Discord server. It's really nice. So yeah, you could just confirm it. I'm gonna put him over to the left a little bit just for now. Next, we want to make our background. So I'm gonna show you how I make my backgrounds. I see multiple different ways people do it, but I'm just gonna show you how I do it. So first, right under the layer of your character, you want to click this and add a gradient map. So here's where you really want to decide like what color you want this to be based off of. And I think I'm low-key just gonna do red because his eyes are red, and yeah, you can't really go wrong with red. So what I have here is a gradient map, and it goes from black to red. Alright, keep that in mind. Whatever color you want to do, you want to still make sure black is on the left side, and you're gonna see why in a bit. But yeah, so yeah, now that we have our gradient map in place, I'm gonna go over here into Google, and as you can see, all I've searched up is Kurapika Hunter X Hunter, but I think I'm gonna add wallpaper. So yeah, you want to basically just look for nice looking wallpapers of your character. So for example, this I think looks really nice, and something I see people doing all the time is saving the image, and I think that might actually give you better quality, but you do not have to save it. You can just copy it and then paste it right into Photoshop. So here you want to drag the layer under the gradient map, because only the things under the gradient map take effect. So make sure you want to do that, and I think I'm gonna position this like right here. Looks nice. So confirm it, and I'm just gonna erase the edges of this. So what I have here is a normal brush with, pretty big size, and hardness 0. Make sure your hardness is on 0 and your opacity is fairly low. So yeah, you want to just erase the edges so it's not so harsh. And yeah, now you have this like nice fading out right there. Perfect. So here you could just see what the gradient map did. So the darker parts get the black and the lighter parts get the red. Gives it a really nice effect. I really like this method also. And you want to really just avoid low quality photos, because honestly it's going to mess up your whole banner. This is pretty low quality, but I don't think it's really going to matter. And yeah, same thing, just going to erase the edges here. And I think I'm just going to turn the opacity down for this one just a bit. So as you can see on my render, there's a light right here on the outside, and it looks like it's coming from the left side. So I'm gonna just determine that I want all my light to be coming from the left. I'm gonna click my main character. You don't actually have to do this, but I recommend doing it. Control G to put it in a group, putting it in a group so it's more organized. And I'm gonna create a brightness and contrast layer. I'm gonna right click it and click create clipping mask, so it only sticks to the character. And I'm going to turn the brightness all the way up and then hit Control I. Make sure you have this little layer mask selected. So now I can brush over the parts where I want to have, this light effect that I gave it right here. So I'm just going to do that right here. Make it pretty subtle. And now I'm going to do the same thing again. Brightness and contrast, clipping mask, and I'm going to make this one dark instead of light. Invert, Control I, and yeah, paint over where I want it to be dark. So around here on his face. Alright, so now for like literally one of the most important parts of the banner, we need our text. So you can put whoever's name you want on here, but I'm just gonna put Kura. I don't know, that's a random nickname I came up with. And you want to make sure you have a nice font, so I'm gonna make this white so I could see it. And you just want to just get a nice looking font. So this is the font I came up with. You can find nice looking fonts in my Discord server. I'm gonna move this over a bit so it's more centered. And now for the layer style. So I'm gonna make this black, completely black, and you want to click this FX right here, and you can start with an inner shadow. So make your inner shadow, make it white, and you can turn the choke all the way up. Make sure it's on blend mode normal. and the size isn't that much. Make sure the angle is on 90. My size is on 0, but you could just mess around with the distance until you find something that looks good. Actually, you know what? You can change your angle. I'm going to make my angle like this. So I'm using 128 for my angle if you want to copy that. But yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And I'm also going to add a stroke. For the stroke, I'm using linear dodge add inside and a size of 3, and I'm just going in with red because that's the whole theme of the thing. And I'm gonna add a drop shadow just to make the text a little bit easier to read over the black. You can just mess around with that until you get something that looks good. So yeah, I like that. So now I'm gonna go to Google and look for another wallpaper. Okay, so I like this right here, so I'm gonna copy and paste it. I'm gonna put my text in a group, Control G, just so I could paste it on top. And you want to right click this new wallpaper and create a clipping mask, so it's gonna clip to your text. So now what you could do is add a curves layer, create clipping mask, turn the darks up and also the lights up, something like that. And then you could go to your wallpaper that's clipped to the text, hit Control U, you can hit colorize, make the hue, you know, whatever color. I'm just gonna do red. Turn the saturation up, play with the lightness, and do whatever needs to be done to make it look good. So now what I'm gonna do is click on your group that has the render in it, duplicate it, and drag the duplicated one under the gradient map. Just put it anywhere under the gradient map. And you want to scale it up so we get this like nice red version of the character. I'm just gonna position this, you know, like right here. I'll turn the opacity down a bit, and yeah, I like how that looks. Same thing with the text. I'm gonna duplicate that and drag it down, scale it up, and yeah, I like that. And I'm just gonna do this to make my text a bit brighter. This is a bit hard to read. So now what I like to do is I go into Pinterest and just find like nice little things like this, just random stuff that looks cool. And you want to look for stuff that's like mostly black in the background, like this. And I'm gonna set the blend mode to, you can do screen or color dodge or linear dodge add. I'm gonna go with color dodge. It really just depends on like the type of asset you put. Or actually, yeah, I think I'll go with screen just so I can keep the white. I feel like we have a little too much red. So I'll just duplicate that. Then I'll put this somewhere else. Yeah, I'll just put this like right there. And yeah, I'll just group them just to make it, you know, a bit more organized. Turn the opacity down, and yeah, we could leave that. And I really like this one right here with the skulls on it, so I'm just gonna pick that. So yeah, basically you're just going like shopping for nice looking stuff and putting it inside. That's pretty much it. So yeah, as you can see, that creates a really nice effect. I'm using color dodge for this one. So yeah, as you can see, my render sticks out like a sore thumb. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go to his group. If you have any like character that doesn't really match the color, you could do this too. So I'm gonna add a hue and saturation layer, right click it, make sure clipping mask is on. I can just colorize and make it red. Turn the saturation up a bit. Then you can invert the mask with Control I, and now you can just kind of paint over where you want the red to apply. So I'm gonna do that right here and on his face, and then where the hands are. Then what I did here was I made a second hue and saturation layer, but didn't invert it, so it applies on the whole character. And I went to, you can click on what color you want to control. I controlled the yellows and I turned the hue down a bit. So as you could see, that can really change a lot. So yeah, I just made it kind of reddish, orangish. And I'm gonna turn the opacity down a bit. So what you can do, you can go on Pinterest and search up black overlay. That's how I find these. So I really like how this specific one looks, and all I searched was black overlay. So yeah, I'm gonna put this on the very top, and this basically kind of looks like some kind of tech thing, I don't know. Yeah, so as you can see, this gave it like a nice tech look. And I'm gonna add a brightness and contrast layer to this whole image just to turn the contrast down a bit. And basically that just makes the darks a bit darker. And yeah, I just feel like it looks better. Then I'm gonna go right above my gradient map and I'm gonna add a brightness and contrast, turn the contrast up a bit and make it a bit darker. So I just feel like my background was too light. So yeah, now we're pretty much done. I'm just gonna make the text a little bit easier to read. So yeah, now I'm gonna click File, Export. Use however method you want to use to export it. I could just quick export. You want to save it and then drag it back in. So now we have a exported version of this whole thing right here. Cause yeah, we're pretty much done, but we have to go to Filter, Camera Raw Filter, and this is where we just do some correction. I guess we could do a little more contrast. I'll turn the vibrance up and the saturation down. Here we can add some texture, clarity. You can also make it look nice. And then here you could add a vignette, and I'm gonna add a little bit of grain. And then here you can edit the temperature and tint. I'm gonna make it look cooler. Edit your, colors. I like the orange look, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, and you can just hit OK. And yeah, you're pretty much done. Just take a look at the before and after. I mean, I guess this looks alright, but I think it's too red. So yeah, guys, the PSD is in the description. You can go wild, you can steal my work, but hey, the PSD is free. It's in the description. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. It's been Sorect, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.